Good afternoon, Speed Gaming. Welcome to another Super Metroid Any Percent Tournament race today. My name is Exact Science. I am joined here on comms by Professor School. How are you doing this afternoon, Prof?
Good afternoon, Exact. I am doing absolutely splendid today. I am excited for this any percent race. We got two different routes today, which I think, as we were talking about in the green room, is particularly poignant given that yesterday was the 10-year anniversary of the final KPDR world record, and tomorrow is the 10-year anniversary of the first ever PRKD world record. So we're really at the cusp of two worlds, and we have someone running the route of yesteryear and someone running the current route. They're both
Um,
extraordinarily good runners, and we're ready to go. Let's do it.
yeah, I'm very excited for this match. You know, Timon and susreime both very strong. Both very strong runners at their respective routes. susreime actually has so his PB is listed as being a 42-22, but something that's important to bear in mind there is that susreime is one of the runners who saves the animals. That's kind of a more of a tradition among Japanese speedrunners. And so essentially he has a 41. And then Timon has a high 43 KPDR, which is very, very impressive. So we're going to see some, I think, top tier gaming out of both of our runners today.
It is very impressive. In fact, alluding to what we were talking about earlier, that final KPDR world record, of course, was a 44:08 before Behemoth. That was by Zos and a first in-game time of 28. And so now you've got people these days that are top runners that are routinely in KPDR dropping 43s and some even 42s in this category. So a lot of progress has been made in those 10 years from what that final world record was. And Timon, no slouch, a 43 KPDR is an absolutely sick time. So we have
Mm-hmm.
a special matchup on our hands here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really just like a really excellent testament to how great this game is and how like there's really there's really probably never going to be a point where the game is solved and finished. Like there's always new things being discovered, there's always new optimizations being made. Like it's just like the quality of the gameplay is only going up and has only gone up. Um, in the past in the past 10 years, and it's just like really exciting to see where how far it's come, and think about how far it's going to continue going.
Absolutely. We actually polled 100 random speedrunners before the start of this race, and the top answer given for the greatest improvement over the last 10 years, greater spin jump control.
Interesting. That would that makes sense. I always say that spin jumping is the hardest tech in the game. It always sounds a little bit trite, and maybe like a joke to anyone who's listening who isn't like kind of more immersed in the run. But it really is. Spin jumping really is one of the most difficult things that you can do, because like at a really high level, your spin jumps need to be optimal. They need to be placed very, very well, and this game, Samus is hard to control in this game. When we see runners putting on like the show that they do and like making it look like so smooth and so easy, like it's not easy. They've just like built up so much skill that they can make a game with movement that's difficult and at some points clunky, look butter smooth.
All right, so I got to ask, Exact, you have run both KPDR and you've tried some PRKD, have you not? Is that right?
That is correct. I have run both. I am definitely the more experienced KPDR runner.
Okay, but
Um,
so just I'd like to have your take. Just give us like a 15-second overview from your perspective as a person who's trying to sort of straddle the line of both routes. What's your takeaway from either? Yeah, PRKD's faster, sure, whatever. But how do you look at these two? How do you approach them? What do you think about these two routes side by side?
Definitely. I mean, it's faster optimally. You have to be able to take advantage of a lot of the time save, which I can't. My KPDR PB is almost 3 minutes better than my PRKD PB.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think that KPDR it's really about, it's a more consistent route. You have fewer hard reset points and fewer points where you're likely to just like die and lose the run. But like all throughout it, the movement is very complex. You end up getting space jump, which adds an entirely different level of complexity to the movement. Like you get to do some faster strats in individual rooms. Like for the most part, the individual rooms in KPDR are going to be faster. PRKD saves time based on the fact that it only has to visit Norfair once, and so eliminates some backtracking that KPDR has to do. And then PRKD, obviously, it's like there are a lot more hard reset points or points where like missing an input can either make you lose huge amounts of time, or in many cases, especially in lower Norfair, just straight up die and lose the run. So yeah, I think that's interesting. It's very fun in its own way. It has some very interesting optimized movement, but you have to have, there's a much lower skill floor to actually be able to take advantage of that fun. And like take advantage of the time save from the routing.
Could not agree with you more, particularly with regards to can you take advantage of that optimal route? Well, we're going to have to see how Timmon can fare against susreime, and if susreime can take advantage of the more optimal route that he will be running. Meanwhile, we had some incredible tech going straight through Climb, Parlor, and that BT fight. susreime just coming out a little bit on top here. It's going to be running with arm pumps through Terminator here, and we're going to have to wait, unfortunately, again for his internet. He's going to leave us in suspense, as he has been doing all tournament long. Let's just see how this fares. Pretty nice, though. 444, 445 BT bomb touch times. Really nice times from both runners. Very solid so far. Just a couple hiccups here or there. Timmon, you'll see, is going to be running through these green pirates. Can damage down and save a little bit of time. Does not need to worry about health. You might not see susreime's strat there, but of course susreime is going to be missiling those pirates, filling back up on missiles and saving that health for Red Tower, Wrecked Ship, and Fantoon.
Yep, and yeah, that's the first like actual divergence between the routes, and kind of the first place you see like KPDR, because it's more comfortable with resources. It's going to Kraid, who does not need a ton of health to beat, and can like kind of do that faster strat in the room, but ultimately will lose time on the route.
And there we are. We're almost synced back up again. susreime just a little behind, slightly more separated than the time Timmon would have gained by damaging through those pirates we were just talking about before Green Bryn, but certainly saved them a little bit of time, and at least for now, that's going to keep him just a little bit ahead. Ooh, nice mock ball there with the Kago through the Zila.
Yep, and susreime doing that missile farm mock ball strat, which is really cool. Because you're going up the red tower, and nice mock ball from susreime as well. Because you're going up the red tower to a wrecked ship, like you need to be. What did I miss?
The weave is free if you do it right, folks, and susreime saving those approximate 10 frames there. Let's see if you can get a double frame perfect room here. I'm gonna go for the up and 2 here. Let's take a look. Nice charge touch times, by the way. Oh, doesn't quite get it. That's 2 frame perfect tricks, both the weave and that up and 2. susreime not quite getting the second one, a little early on the jump. But this is it. We're about to get our first divergence exact. Timmon about to go down red tower. susreime about to go up. Yeah, and then we're not going to reform again, converge until, I guess it's Everest at that point, right?
Basically, yeah. It's like the Sephi fish room, as it's been known to be called. So as we see here, Timmon mockballing through the door, susreime running through to do these wall jumps. All right, no ripper skipper, but very clean up the tower.
Ooh, shoutouts to Nevdi that are on that Vile Plume grab. susreime going for the double deboost strat there. I don't know. I favor the. Oh gosh. I was just going to say I favor the single deboost strat that Overfiend uses. It allows you to farm some of those Zealas in Hellway and also saves you a bunch of damage. Susreime, unfortunately, taking a 0 hit there, which is 40 health. So let's keep a close eye on Susreime's health here, already at 86. It's perfectly manageable for someone of his skill level, but it is a little bit uncomfortable going in with this kind of health. He should get an extra drop here because he got an extra super, so he is at 106. It's a little bit better than I thought.
Yeah, I imagine. I think there's a chance that we will see him farm at least one crab here in Criteria Key Hunters. They have a pretty, like a 40% chance of dropping a large energy.
Yeah, there it is.
If they
Good
don't
call
drop
on that.
Power Bomb.
Yep. Nice. Okay, and there you called it. There's another big health drop, so that definitely puts Susreime right back in a good position. Are you kidding me? Susreime's internet. Give me a break. I want to see this moat. Yikes!
So yeah.
Oh my goodness, Timmon. I don't think. I mean that damage down strat for iframes is nice. I don't know if in a race I'd be going for it in that particular situation, but I mean he's a 43 KPDR runner. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he pulling out all the stops here. Like generally, that is not a strat that you do if you don't have at least 62 energy. Because if at all possible, you want to avoid getting health bombed by Kraid here. So I imagine because he's up against Susreime and it's like he probably feels like he has to pull out all of the stops here. I kind of imagine we'll see a skip on the Kraid tank here.
I would think so, yeah. I mean, and it is worth pointing out that. Yeah, and there it is. There's the skip. When the top runners are going for insanely low times in KPDR, it's actually not atypical to just take that, the whatever 60 frames of lag time save that you can get on Kraid and just eat the fact that you're not getting drops there. Even if you don't get health bombed, a lot of times you're skipping Kraid drops anyway. So this is not an unheard of strat, but I think it just goes to show what Timmon needs to try to do to pull out every little bit of time against the very strong, near 41 runner that Susreime is. Meanwhile, though, Susreime did get across the moat cleanly, it would appear. If there was a hiccup, it was very minor, something like, maybe a missed CWJ into an immediate HBJ success. But so far, health is good, got nice drops, is managing the fight very well. And let's see. Oh, it's going to be the rarer slow pattern here, unfortunately. But the flames are friendly.
I think Susreime got like 9 missiles there. Very, very nice. So having to do 6 plus the super on the last round and just nailing it.
Yep. Very, very nice fight. Excellently executed from Susreime.
Meanwhile,
drops are not great. 2 supers only leaving, 9 missiles leaving, full health and power bombs at least, but 2 supers is a little bit annoying. He might just get bailed out by bug RNG later, but it's not what you want necessarily in this situation.
Yeah, for sure. You definitely, because Susreime is going to be heading down to Lower Norfair immediately. That's like the main point of divergence. Oh, going for this damage boost too, looks like. This boost is very much riskier in PRKD compared to KPDR, due to you taking double damage from everything here in Wrecked Ship. But yeah, you really want as many supers as possible, because there aren't a lot of places to get more supers in Lower Norfair, and you want to have full if you can for Ridley, because it speeds up the fight tremendously. Meanwhile, we are seeing Timmon do, one of my favorite parts of the KPDR run, particularly, this little shopping trip through Upper Norfair to get all of our items, our speed booster, our wave beam, our high jump boots, of course, excellent item there, and this is a segment it's deceptively difficult. It's Upper Norfair is a segment that really tests your fundamentals of the game. You have to just have crisp, clean movement through every room, because there aren't a ton of places where you'll lose like huge amounts of time. It's just the sort of thing where you do a room wrong, you'll lose a second here, 2 seconds there, 30 frames there, and all of a sudden you've lost 12 seconds.
All right, a little bit of trouble here in Upper Norfair. Timmon getting kind of unlucky with the bug farms. Trying to leave, realizing he only had one super. Going back for another farm, only getting an extra one. So pretty low on supers here. And then missing that jump into double chamber. Susreime, in the meanwhile, is going to come in just a hair under a 14-minute touch time. So not his best gravity time, but still in that 13-minute range. And has got decent resources. Again, super's a little low. I probably expect him to just farm up both of the cacks. Should probably be fine. Power bombs are good. Health is obviously fine. And meanwhile, Timmon will now be making his way into Meridia.
Yeah, that farm Timmon just did on the.
Ooh, look at that bomb spread, baby. Let's go.
Ooh, very, very nice. That trick is very difficult. So in order to bomb spread in midair like that, you have to do you have to press down to morph frame perfectly after doing an aim down turnaround. But it does save a nice chunk of time. But very difficult. Timmon making it look easy as we expected. All right. So now we're gonna get a little bit of a high five soon, because now Timmon's gonna be heading up the red tower, while Susreime heads down to do his shopping before Lower Norfair. It's gonna be routed slightly differently. Susreime is also going to pick up the ice beam, which Timmon didn't do. Timmon will do that later. It's a little bit faster to get ice beam late.
This is going to be an aggressive high five. Oh no, I thought we were going to get the alpha spark. I was going to say that's about to be a very aggressive high five. Timmon going at lightning speed, but we just missed that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, that is a very... Alpha sparking with 2 tanks is very aggressive. It is faster, but, you know, your health management in this whole segment, you basically, aside from Fantoon drops, don't get any real opportunities to refill energy between here and Gravity Suit. And so you have to be very, very careful. And most of the time when you're 3 tanking and only have 2 tanks coming up the red tower, you don't take that 60 or so damage from the alpha spark to make that easier.
Yep, absolutely. A little bit of trouble in Hellway for Timmon. A really sick down grab. One of the prettier strats, I think, in the entirety of these runs is to get that down grab in red tower. Really nicely done there from Timmon. Meanwhile, yeah, Timmon going up to wreck chip now. Susreime going to hope for some super drops here. Ended up not doing the double farm on the Kagos. I think it is, or the Cax rather. I think it is worth noting that Susreime in previous interviews has made quite clear that more or less, regardless of the opponent, he does not make plan to modify his strats. Certainly not in these later rounds against these stronger opponents. So I expect that he's going to be more or less going full bore here with all of his strat decision. And so far, that's borne out.
Yep. And unfortunately, he did miss a super drop from the Sova here. But I think that missing that drop is probably something he just does. Oh, nice super drop there though.
And the ocean fly from Timmon, very, very nice. I that's actually the same setup I use, which is not a charge shot or super, but a missile ocean fly. It's a little bit of a smaller window, but nicely executed there from Timmon. Super sick stuff. We're seeing a lot of great flexing of this KPDR route from Timmon.
Nice damage boost from Susreime. That damage boost is deceptively tricky as well. The timing is really tight to beat that Sova out of the tunnel and unmorph. Ooh. So Timmon gonna Kojak this super here, is gonna have to missile this Ghidorah, which is a small time loss. And we'll see if Fantoon drops one so he can finish quickly. If not, he may have to do a bigger Doppler on his second round.
Let's see if this short mock ball is enough. It should be. Yeah, okay, nicely done. Stream struggling a little bit with that ice escape. The most annoying situation there, which is I think the most common failure, that second tripper just gets away from you far enough that you fall through. Meanwhile, let's check out these X Factor strats here from Timmon. Nice, nice. Okay, excellently done. Taking a little extra damage, that's part of the risk of this X Factor strategy. That extra flame that he took there at the end put him down to 77. Should be able to manage this fine, though. Oh, and doing double X Factor, not the hybrid, of course, because he doesn't have
very nice.
Yeah, that's right. I think normally Timon would have done the more optimal 2-2 and then the super fight, the missile and ballistics finish to that fight. But of course,
Hmm.
without having any supers, was forced to rely on that additional power bomb and backed that up really nicely. So great backup there from Timon.
Yeah, very, very nice. And double on-screen X Factor as well. That is like the faster but significantly more difficult setup than the off-screen setups that you'll see most commonly pop tune, which kind of normalizes Fantoon's movement. But yeah, Timon wants to save those few seconds by keeping Fantoon from going off screen. All right, looking at Susreim's resources here, this bug farm after speed is really the last place the last good place to farm resources before getting to Lower Norfair. Susreim may need to do a few extra farms here,
Oh,
depending on
wow.
RNG. What were the
3 supers
wow?
on the second farm. That's incredible. So 3 farms gave him 4 supers. Meanwhile, let's just check out this attic from Timon, because this is going to be dope. Oh, just missed the blue keep, unfortunately, but pretty sick overall. Didn't
Yeah,
take any extra damage. Had to use a little bit of extra ballistics there at the end, but lovely stuff. Susreim getting totally hooked up on those super drops. Really, really nice.
yep. All right, so it looks like Susreim. I mean, I like this play, especially for races. I'm a big 2010 fan in general. But taking that extra missile pack, which will allow for a tiny bit of extra damage on Ridley, it'll save like half a second over using an additional charge shot, and it makes it so Turian is less stressful. You can leave Metroids for a little short on supers. You can leave with as little as 18-9, whereas if you go that like optimal 15-10, you have to have full ammo leaving Metroids for, or you will lose time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, coming up on one of my favorite tricks in PRKD, right here, the lava spark. We'll see how Susreim does with it.
Well, the really neat thing that we're about to see from this lava spark is actually a couple of interesting things that Susreim does differently from most others. First of all, here's this charge shot. By releasing that charge shot during the shine spark process, he's actually going to save 1 frame. It actually delays the shine spark counter by a single frame. And then you see that pause, so slightly inefficient to set up that pause rather than on the elevator to do it mid lava spark. But Susreim can actually gauge visual cues in the background of that room. And based on when he enters the pause menu, he knows whether or not he needs to buffer the inputs for an up spark or for a diagonal spark. It really gives him an increased degree of function and consistency with his lava spark. You rarely see him miss that because he just pretty much knows once he enters that pause menu how it's going to turn out. It's really brilliant from Susreim.
Very clean pillars as well. All right, I think that's high enough to get the lag reduction. Very nice.
Just based on the room, that looks like a really lagless room. You can see it especially on the exit of the room there, the way that Samus would not stutter, but everything just slows down a little bit like she's going through molasses in winter, and quite the opposite. That was a really smooth exit. That was probably, a sub 12, maybe even like mid to low 11 room time. That was really, really nicely done from Susreim.
Gorgeous. Again, like this route is one of the reasons that is called the worst room in the game, and Susreim just handling it beautifully.
Yeah, and a nice super drop there from the Key Hunter. That's really excellent.
Yeah, these resources for Susreim are really fantastic heading into Metal Pirates. We don't need all that many drops to be have a very good chance of having full supers for Ridley, and I think we're basically guaranteed to have the fast Kago too. Wow.
Yeah, so the first one saves the most time. It's 2.5 to 3 seconds. The second one saves only about 45 to 55 frames, somewhere in that range. Maybe it's slightly more than that, but I mean, just everything's blazing right now. Susreim firing on all cylinders after a couple hiccups early on. He's got health just under 200. He's got full supers. He's in great shape here. This is quite a clinic in Lower Norfair we're seeing from Susreim.
Yeah,
Gonna
did
wait for
I?
this extra bug drop and getting the super
Oh,
hookup. So full
nice.
supers going in, and I'm assuming a 4 X factor here. Let's see. Oh, and we got X factors all over the place. Left side of the screen, right side of the screen. Shout out to Decall, by the way. Nice setup there from Timmon. So Stream just going the 2 X Factor route. Okay, very safe, very nice. Doesn't have to take any extra hits. Ooh, unfortunately, kind of a jerky pattern there from Susreime. The way that he paused into that. Unfortunately, taking that extra hit, but a 125 should still be okay for right now. Can handle this fight very well, even on that health.
Yep. Something else that you can see from Susreime that when he pauses in this fight, he turns off his bombs. Which is another very cool little piece of tech that a lot of people wouldn't think of. If you have bombs equipped and you morph with a charge shot, unless you do a very specific set of inputs or you do a different set of inputs to unmorph, you will use your charge shot on a bomb spread, right? If you have your bombs unequipped, you can continue carrying your charge shot in morph ball, like Stream just did there, and to be able to have those charge shots come out a little more optimally, since you can dodge Ridley while still like not losing charge time that you've already gotten. Meanwhile, Timmon with the Azul setup, that looked good to me. All right, and are we gonna... Beautiful 2 with blue.
Wow, the whole Meridia from Timmon has been really excellent. I was talking about the excellence that Susreime was demonstrating, but this is really poetry in motion here from Timmon. Beautiful stuff, reading the patterns of Dragon so well, reacting to that slowest, worst pattern, having excellent health too, so we'll use this blue suit to get across and charge that spark and get through that reverse halfie. I mean, it's just excellent execution here from Tim, and both runners really putting on a show.
Yep. Meanwhile, Susreime nailing that Wasteland Speedball. And now gonna do some dodges in the Key Hunters here. Fortunately, that guy not quite in the position that he wanted to be. So we'll take an extra hit. Needs to be a little careful in Musketeers here due to that energy. Oh, we've got 2 exciting moments coming up at basically the same time here. All right, so Susreime is going to try to manipulate the Key Hunters here to get them into specific positions so that... Oh my goodness.
Woo! Oh boy.
My goodness. And Timmon? Oh, so close. Timmon almost getting the plasma spark there, just being a couple of frames late, if that.
Yeah, let me point something out really quickly. Obviously unfortunate about the missed plasma spark from Timmon. Susreime, when he took that extra damage and did the final ball over the top of the pirate, he did an upshot, and you have to be so careful because you can get a little bit hecked if you start to shoot your upshot after you begin your jump. If you do that, there is a chance that you do not clear that final block from the pirate, and you fall right back down onto him, bonking your head on the ceiling. Susreime managing not to have that issue. At 22 health, he would have been done. It would have been GG's, but Susreime just hanging on, getting down to 10 health on the escape. Back up to 50 now. Fortunately, the resources are very good heading in otherwise, so Susreime should be okay.
Yeah, just barely escaping health bomb with those farms in Bubble Mountain. But yeah, that's actually something I didn't even think about. Usually I run with plasma, so it's not really an issue, but with wave beam only, it's definitely something that can happen. The really nasty thing about that block bonk in Three Musketeers is that if you miss the block, it's visually almost the same as the background if you clear the block. So it can be very hard to tell, especially, in a hectic moment where you're trying to get away from that 50 damage Key Hunter. And it's very easy to not see that you hit it and just be punished real hard. So excellent stuff.
Yeah, chat pointing this out. I was actually just on Timmon's PB video on Twitch, just checking this. actually running within something like 15 to 20 seconds of PB, depending on where you're looking. So Timmon's time is pretty hot right now, with time still to save. You know, a high 43 is probably still possible if he plays out of his mind. More like a mid to low 44 seems more likely as far as the pace, but like really, really incredible stuff from Timmon right here.
Yeah, Timmon also, we see susreime getting the Kraid quick kill. Excellent Kraid drops, leaving with some very strong resources here. Would maybe like a little bit more energy, since we are headed to Meridian next. But Timmon also doing the blueless ice entry, which is a significantly harder strat. Kind of getting to space jump through this room and then go straight up the hole. Here we're going to see Timmon do a little stutter on this shot. That allows him to farm a power bomb from that first Tuskegee in the room, which gives a little bit of added insurance in case he gets messed up by a rare health drop from the Viola and Pillars, or ends up missing Pillar Spark and having power bomb. He's like not going to have to worry about potentially getting power bombs with Shame.
Yeah, and I was just going to mention this. I expected that with this health, this is the strat that susreime would bust out. You can just make it if you do this spark in Mount Everest, if you sort of run and jump up to decrease the amount of health you'd lose. Totally not worth it. You do not want to be in that health bomb range going into Batun. That's a really nice backup there, using that pseudo screw to get all the way up. That's actually something that he struggled with in his last race. He wasn't able to get it and ended up doing a gravity jump back up after 2 failures. So I'm sure he hit the drawing board, made sure he could figure it out properly, and he ironed that out. So nicely done by susreime there on that low health. Good resource management.
Oh, so susreime menuing off of his power bomb just a tiny bit early. Not getting the X Factor to come out is going to have to clean this fight up with charge shots and ammo. But I think is most of the way there now. Yep.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he really could not afford to be reckless there on only 72 health. That's 2 hits to Batun and it's GG's, and even after the first hit, you're in bad shape because, again, health bomb range. So I think, it was slower, but that was the right decision again from susreime.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Timmon doing that faster right side variation of worst room in the game. Just getting up, again, very cleanly. This is one of my favorite rooms in KPDR right here. Oh, so good. Even getting both drops. Beautiful Key Hunter stairs.
No, the worst way to fail that. Oh, that's really unfortunate. That's worse than not going for it at all. It's just the way that you slow down there, the place that you lose in the room, the place that you land in the room, the time that you lose in the crash animation. It's really unfortunate. So a little bit of trouble here. First owing to the lower health, and then some of the menuing issues. susreime just falling off of the wagon a tiny bit, maybe giving Timmon a little bit of help. Oh wow, nice backup. I don't know if that's intentional or not. Is that intentional? How is that? That's an insane double farm. There's no way that's intentional, right?
Yeah, no way. Timmon was going for. I'm pretty sure he goes for the optimal strat, and he just had to miss the double hit the first time, and it was incredible. That's what it was, Prof.
I mean, I've run KPDR before. I'm not sure I've ever seen that, but I don't claim to know every backup in that room. If that was intentional, man, that's insane. Holy smokes, man, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, if that was just improvised, it's even more like a testament to the skill here. All right, now susreime does a very interesting variation of the Dragon fight. He actually gets a spike suit here. Oh wait, no, that was the end of the fight. Wow, I looked away to look at Metal Pirates, and all of a sudden susreime is out of Dragon. Excellent super sleeving.
Yeah, we were so just torn up about that nutty job on the backup in Metal Pirates that susreime just like completely crushed that Dragon fight. That was really excellent.
All right, and also,
Still cooking, by the way. Timmon's like 32-30 kill time for Ridley in his PB, and he's not that far behind that. So this is like really, really cooking for Timmon, putting the pressure on susreime.
absolutely. And yes, the stream again. It appears that with that the second spark to kill Dragon, he does another pause there, and uses that to re-equip Ice and Spazer. Normally, you'll see people do that on the elevator going down to Turian, but when susreime does that pause there, it again, like the Lava Spark, lets him kind of gauge, like, did Dragon do a swoop or a goop here? How should I spark? Which is very cool.
Well, the Dragon fight went very well. I would say the rest of Meridia was pretty subpar, unfortunately, and does open the door up just a little bit more for Timmon. susreime struggling just enough in Meridia here. Let's check this elevator time. So we're looking at like little over a 35-minute G4 door, which is putting us at sort of what was a 42 pace for susreime is probably going to look a little bit more like a low 43 pace. Assuming things go well in Turian. It's still comfy for susreime, but he can't really afford that many more mistakes before this starts getting tight. Because Timmon, like I said, really cooking and continues to have a really fast pace here.
Yep,
oh,
absolutely.
Look at that! And the bounce ball through for the exit of LN. Oh my goodness, incredible. So good, Timmon. Just cooking right now. Everything is going for him.
And susreime getting that really cool bounce ball blue keep unmorph through the blocks in Parlor. Very, very difficult strat. That morph particularly is just super duper tight. All right.
Resources look good. Resources look really good for susreime. So yeah, there it is. 35-12 entry. Yeah, nine missiles, 5 supers is fine here. It's actually good. This is great. 254 health, so no issues, worrying about getting grabbed or walking around in the acid for too long in room 1. susreime is going to be very comfy going through these and should be just fine even with some bad RNG. Just needs to execute. It really just comes down to that. He just needs to execute.
Yep. And meanwhile, we're kind of seeing some of the power of the KPDR movement, extra items that the route picks up. Timmon is just going to fly up Mount Everest here with Space Jump. We also saw, kind of going back to the LN exit really briefly, Timmon did not need to worry the tiniest bit about the 3 Musketeers because there's a way to kill all 3 of them with just 2 charge shots, thanks to the power of Plasma Beam.
Yeah, and Timmon, like you said, flying up Mount Everest without bottled oxygen, which is pretty incredible, just using that space jump. Not a lot of people are able to accomplish that incredible feat, so shout-outs to Timmon for that. Power of KPDR, clearly. Oh, and I love that missile strat at the start of M1 there for susreime to try to move that Metroid down and actually get those extra drops. Oof, okay, so a little stingy on supers overall, plus some of the issues that he had. Love that down back strat to avoid landing on that platform. Very nice from susreime, cleaning up room 2 very, very nicely.
Big drops there, too. So we're going to see a grouping here in Metroids 3.
Hell yes. Oh, and the moonwalk to collect all the drops and get that extra run speed. Let's go.
So, yeah.
Both of these runners putting on a show. Holy smokes.
Yep, and then we see a super there. If you have 10 supers entering Metroid's 4 with 20 missiles, you do not need to worry at all. Really, you can super. And even if you get no drops, no super drops somehow, you still have enough to finish without losing time. All right, so Timmon looked like a 37-12 or so entering G4.
So it's about 30 seconds behind his PB, which is a high 43. Just dropped off a little bit. He is going to have about a minute faster. Turian here, meanwhile, susreime just moving forward a little too quick on that final jump, not quite giving Samus enough breathing room by getting closer to that ceiling. Just rushing that jump, not getting quite high enough. That's going to pull it a little closer. I think susreime is still okay at this point, but you need to avoid any further issues right now. if you're susreime. Oh, okay. I'm going to open the door and fill up to just give himself a little bit more of a buffer here. I think that that's a prudent decision.
Yeah.
Does cost just a little bit more time, but for some safety. I don't think he typically watches the restream, but yeah, we'll just have to see. Timmon obviously going to have only the 20 shot and much easier Mother Brain fight, and some of these faster Metroid rooms owing to space jump. Oh, beautiful. And nice drops there from Timmon in room 1. Let's go.
Falls down, gets this guy, gets the boost into Metroids 3.
Heck yes. Woo! Cooking, man. Let's go, Timmon.
Yeah, like barely missing the fully optimal version of that room. That was. I love the KDR Metroid rooms. They're so good.
All right, moment of truth here for susreime. Had the extra ammo, just ended up burning the rest of it. Good health though, 384 here. So can't afford to take a full volley of onion rings, but almost anything else at this point would be fine, which gives him some wiggle room on this fight. Starting at just about 39 minutes flat. At the same time, Timmon entering his baby skip. Let's put our good energy into this. Hope that Timmon can pull this off. Going to be using this bomb spread method. I love this bomb spread method. Now, does he do this with a stutter? No. Okay, so he's doing this dashless. That's a really awesome way to do that because it's consistent every time. Instead of having dash and needing to stutter there, what Timmon does is go dashless for the first run up and probably uses a visual cue from one of the bombs exploding to know exactly when to leave. And it really, really increases the consistency of that Stashio skip. Really, really nice baby skip execution there from Timmon.
Yep, excellent stuff. And
oh, and fixing the door too. He's doing all the optimizations. Let's go.
Down back Zeb skip, nice. Love to see that. Yeah, also Timmon's something interesting about Timmon's baby skip. He actually uses a missile to kill that Dust Ripper, which it saves a little bit of lag, I think, over using the plasma beam to do it.
It does, yeah. All right, we're into catch up here. Probably 6 or 7 more shots. Oh no, that's it. Go. He's already through. My goodness, incredible. All right, so susreime through with a clean fight, and you'll see Timmon catch up quite a bit here with just this 20-shot plasma. This is going to be an excellent time from Timmon. Susreime did just enough throughout some of the struggles that he had, managing the low health in a number of places throughout the run, staying clean throughout LN, really crushing that section. And then in Meridia, despite all the issues and then obviously the missed baby skip, he did enough against Dragon and he did enough with his ammo and health management that he made it through to this moment and will be, I don't know, about a minute ahead, maybe slightly less than that. Yeah,
unfortunately,
really nice.
Timmon, unfortunately, when the first catch-up was coming out, he jumped to kind of manipulate it to be high. There was a bomb out at the time, and he just barely missed the center of the bomb explosion. He was on 319, took an extra bomb hit, and was not able to survive the catch-up, unfortunately. But like, regardless of that, just a really, really fantastic run out of Timmon here. Just excellent stuff. Mother Brain is a jerk. Like, no matter how good you are or how good your beam is, like, there's always the chance that she will throw something at you that you can't quite deal with and end your run. But, you know, just a really excellent showing from Timmon. He's got nothing to be ashamed of here. It was a joy to watch.
Yeah, really excellent stuff. I mean, it's a shame to see him not finish, but we pretty much got all the excitement we were going to out of that. You want to see the dot done, obviously. I think the result was fixed at that point. Susreime's not going to lose that much time in the escape. It was a pretty nice, like mid 44 pace there for Timmon, which would have been, pretty sick race time for anyone, honestly, running this route. Susreime going to be out of here, clocking in at what is this going to be, like a high 43? Yeah, mid to high 43. So it would have been maybe like 50-second difference between the two runners in the end had Timmon survived and finished this off. Maybe actually a little less than that, maybe more like 40 to 45, depending on how the escape went. Yeah, what an excellent race. What an excellent race, really, and a beautiful showcase for both runners. you hate to see them die, but Timmon did so much good throughout the course of that I feel like, if this is the way you're going to leave the tournament, it's a heck of a way to do it.
Absolutely. So yeah, we'll just see susreime finishing up his escape here. Moon falling down the Leodoc's room. Crispy ledge grabs there. And just one more room to go. And get your GGs in chat, folks, for susreime finishing up in first place here with an official race time GG time of 43:48. Just really phenomenal stuff. What a great race to watch.
GG's to susreime. We'll see whether or not we get the runners into the commentary booth with us. And there we are. We're joined by the winner in first place, wrapping up another victory in this SGLIVE 2024 Any Percent tournament. And right behind him in the waiting room is Timmon. There we are. susreime, GG's on the win. Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. Hey, Timmon. Yeah, GG's to you as well. And thanks, Prof. Thank you for GG's.
GG's to you.
Yeah, so just right off the bat, I wanted to say to both of you, I hope that you enjoyed the race. I hope you get a chance to go and watch it back. The two of you put on quite a show. We'll ask you in a minute how you feel about it, but I just wanted to say, from the perspective of chat and the commentary booth, you were cooking throughout that run. You gave us a beautiful showcase of what both of these routes can do on a day where we're 1 day removed from the 10-year anniversary of the KPDR last world record and the first 1 day before the first PRKD world record. So really a beautiful showcase at sort of the inflection point of this anniversary weekend. And I just wanted to thank you both for an incredible race and for a great display. Tim, and I know you didn't get to finish. I'll just start with you. Can you just reflect on that run? I thought you were absolutely crushing it. I thought you played so well. A little unfortunate at the end, but how did you think moving through the run?
Yeah, I'm not too sad about it at the ending. I saw the restream at the end. I had it open after G4, and I saw like, okay, well, it could be close, but there's no chance. So it's okay. But yeah, I've like 3 things I want to point because they were kind of cool and never done. Like the first one was the early champions with no supers for Fentoon. I haven't done double X Factor in like 7 years. So I'm quite happy that I got the right mid pattern because that second X Factor is quite easy. The other ones are pretty hard. So
yeah, we pointed that out.
The second X.
Tim, and we pointed that out, and chat was popping off about that because I was like, oh, he doesn't have supers. Is he going to double X Factor here? And you sure did. And I was like, I don't know if he practices that or what. So the fact that you haven't done it in 7 years and you nailed it like that is awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then
so what were the other 2? Yeah.
Shout out to Starship for the ice entry. Last night we were playing again, practicing that, and the fast space jam ice entry. It's my first time doing it in a run and getting it.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
that was amazing. And the Metal Pirates backup. I don't know if anyone noticed that.
Was that a backup?
Oh,
was that
we noticed.
How did you do it? Was that actually planned?
I've never done that. That was not planned. People know me as I know a lot of backups and stuff, and I guess I can come up with backups on the fly. No, that was total on accident that the right pirate actually activated and, well, just jumped into the shot.
Tim, and we were so hyped about that backup that we missed the entire susreime Meridia Dragon fight. It was incredible.
Yeah,
it was incredible.
I'm curious. Yeah, I'm curious what that looks like now. I'll definitely go back and check it.
No, that was fun. And anyway, overall, I really enjoyed that run. Nice race. I'm very pleased with how I played.
Great. Well, thank you so much for an excellent performance. Susreime, what about you? You've won. You're moving on. How did you feel about the race,
Yeah.
and what's coming next for you?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, thanks for the race, Tim. And that was pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, I just keep making the same mistakes like over and over again. Like all these races, it's always things like mounting X Factor, like baby skip. Like it's always these consistently the same mistakes. And it'll be a lie if I say I felt really good about this run, because like those were areas that I worked on since my last race with MM2 to try to sort of fix the issues, but then couldn't really fix them in the run. So more work needs to be done from my side. I mean the matches are just gonna get progressively tougher from here. So I guess I'll have to go back to my training that, and keep on practicing. But overall, it was fun. It was pretty fun.
Excellent. Well, we need to wrap things up just in a minute here. We have another race. Actually, my co-commentator, I think, Zach, you're staying on for this next one, which is going to be pretty hype. Folks, just stay tuned. Coming up next, we do actually have Stachio Cat and Mokyu coming up. But there is one other thing I wanted to point out. Susreime, you've got your next matchup set already. It's going to be Eddie and Susreime going head to head.
Yeah,
I just wanted to get your reflection really quickly. Can you just give us your knee-jerk reaction right away? What are you thinking about that race against Eddie?
So versus Eddie, well, the dream match, I guess. Dream match, the Chicago Showdown. I'll see who walks out of this alive. It'll be fun. Please look forward. I'll try to put my best effort into it. So please look forward to that one.
Yeah, that's going to be a great race.
Well, you heard it here, folks. First, folks, the Chicago Showdown, the Chicago Street Fight. No holds barred. Anything goes. One fall to a finish. The winner moves on. The loser goes home. Eddie and Susreime, keep your eyes peeled on the schedule for that matchup. But we've got another one coming right up. And Exact, you're going to be taking us through that one as well. So why don't you take us home from this one and send us in to the next round?
Yep, definitely. Well, once again, GG to Susreime and Timmon. Thank you so much for the awesome race. Prof, thanks for joining me on comms. It's always great to come with another person, especially a friend like you. And yeah, stay tuned, folks. We'll be getting going sometime within the next 10 minutes on Stachio Cat versus Mokyu, another KPDR race. So just stay right where you are. Go get a drink, get a snack, and come back. We will see you next mission.